Welcome back to another video on Influential Sports. And in this video, I want to talk about why isn't every championship being defended at WrestleMania. You have 2 nights of WrestleMania, which is kind of unnecessary. You really never needed 2 nights of WrestleMania, but you make the 2 nights. And there's 14 matches. Well, there's 13 confirmed. I'm sure Randy Orton will have a match this year as well. If he doesn't, that just wouldn't make sense. So assuming that Randy Orton has a match, that's 14 matches, so 7 for both nights. 6 of these matches are non-title matches that don't really do anything. WrestleMania is WWE's biggest event of the year. This is the one time where all the championships should be defended. You have 2 nights for the event. Every pay-per-view, every championship don't need to be defended. Like the Royal Rumble, the IC title don't got to be defended at the Royal Rumble. That's fine. You can do it the Raw before. That makes sense. But when it comes down to WrestleMania, this is your biggest event of the year. It doesn't make sense for 3 championships to be left off the card. And not only that, but a champion fighting for another championship. Lyra and Bayley winning the tag team gauntlet. I made it short about it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like you could have easily built Bayley. You could have helped build Lyra with her and Bayley having their trilogy, start that a bit earlier, and then it ends up paying. Then you ended at WrestleMania with Lyra getting the win since they tied 1-1. She never should have been a qualifier match for an elimination chamber between them two to begin with. Or if you're going to do something with Roxanne Perez, have her beat Bayley in a qualifying match to become the #1 contender for Lyra, then have Roxanne beat Lyra at WrestleMania to become the new Women's IC champion. But I don't really know what you're doing with Roxanne Perez either, because she's not going to be at WrestleMania or stand and deliver by the looks of it. So I don't know what to say about that. And Roxanne Perez is great, especially in the ring. I mean, you put Tiffany Stratton to the moon and she can't cut a promo, so Roxanne Perez can't get the same push. I don't know what we're doing here, and Roxanne Perez, I'm not saying she should have won last night against Tiffany, but she's just taking these pins clean. There's no type of interference or nothing in these matches. She's just losing to people clean. Like, I really don't get what's going on with the booking of Roxanne. Is she called up or is she not? Like, she's still in NXT trying to get in a ladder match for the North American title. She's been the NXT Women's Champion twice. Why would she want the NXT North American Women's Championship? But anyways, moving on from that, because you had an easy story with Lyra. You could have either did the trilogy ending with her and Bayley at WrestleMania, or you could have had Roxanne and Bayley actually finish their feud and then have Roxanne go on to Mania to become the IC Women's Champion and then move Lyra up to the main event scene. It was so easy. And as far as the tag teams I wanted to win, or that I thought should have won, I wanted Katana Chance and Kaden Carter to win because they're the only real tag team that was in that match, and they've won the championships before, so this would have been a good test for them if they would have started the match and them getting all the way through instead of trying to get back to winning the tag team gold. That would have made sense. Or I wouldn't have been mad at B-Fab and Michan, since Michan never held a title in WWE. Like, I would have been fine with them two winning. And then this tag team match, it was a good gauntlet match. I just think it had the wrong winners in it. But I think it would have made more sense for B-Fab and Michan to win it and go on to WrestleMania and beat Liv and Raquel, because Liv don't need to be in the tag team division no more. I think Liv and Raquel need to lose, but losing to Bayley and Lyra wouldn't make sense, especially since they don't really got history like that. But moving on from that, Chelsea Green does not have a championship match either. And the New Day, they got this, the War Raiders got disqualified on Monday in the tag team match. And then on social media, Adam Pearce announced, oh, they get a match at WrestleMania. Okay. Chelsea Green loses her match to Zelina Vega, and now they're in a random 6-woman tag team match next week on SmackDown. Why doesn't Zelina Vega get a shot at the title? She won by countout, so she don't get a shot at WrestleMania for the women's U.S. title? That don't make sense. Neither women's mid-card champion is defending their title at WrestleMania. And you want to build up the women's division? It is a few women's matches on the card. It's some solid ones. That, don't get me wrong. But this is the mid-card champion we're talking about. These are champions who Chelsea Green's reign, it's been solid, but she had a lot of matches against Michan, which was kind of unnecessary, especially if she wasn't going to win it. But if Zelina Vega wins by countout, why doesn't she get a shot at the title? The same way the New Day won their match by disqualification, and they got them a shot at the titles. Where's the logic in that? Because realistically, this New Day versus War Raiders story is not enough to be at WrestleMania. I'm glad it's happening because I want to see the New Day win, but that story is not enough. It's on the same level as Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green. But now next week on the Go Home SmackDown is Selena Vega teaming up with Kaden Carter and Katana Chance to take on the Secret Herbis. So when's Selena gonna get the title shot? At Backlash? Is that what we're doing? It's gonna be on a random. Gonna be the SmackDown before Backlash. And then the Street Profits. They won the tag team championships against DIY. Then they went on to beat Legado del Fantasma in a non-title match. So boom, they took out 2 tag teams. They won back-to-back matches. Then the following week they beat Pretty Deadly in a match. So there's 3 teams in the tag team division they didn't beat already. Now they have their match against Motor City Machine Guns for the titles of SmackDown before. But there's an actual story in the entire SmackDown tag team division. Unlike the Raw tag team division where there's no actual tag teams because everybody is made like a joke. But the Street Profits and Motor City isn't a Mania match. And let's say they beat Motor City Machine Guns. Why can't whoever win that match face Miz and Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania? Because at least on SmackDown, there's actually stories with the tag teams. They've been building a solid story the last few months in the tag team division. Like, you did a multi-man match for this makes the most sense. SmackDown tag division has been on fire this year with the Street Profits, DIY, Pretty Deadly, and Motor City Machine Guns. And you could throw Miz and Carmelo Hayes in the mix. And that could have been a ladder match or something at WrestleMania. The Street Profits could have retained, but it helps build up all the other tag teams. Because it would have been something fun you could do at WrestleMania. It could have started off night 2. I think that would have been a cool match. I don't think nobody would have had a problem with that because there's actual build. But the Street Profits not being at WrestleMania, yet the War Raiders and New Day is, when the Street Profits have told better stories, that wrestle better matches, and they'll cut better promos than the War Raiders. But they're not at WrestleMania. So there's 3 champions, and you have 14 matches, 7 on each night, 11 championships, and you have 6 non-title matches at WrestleMania. And let's look at the other title matches and how these matches could have been better. You have Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I don't have a problem with that match at all. I think that's fine. Jey Uso versus Gunther. Once again, that's fine. Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. So are y'all gonna call Minnesota racist too? Because y'all was streaming racism with the European crowds when they was booing Bianca Belair. So keep the same energy with these U.S. crowds. Because if that's the case, everybody racist then. Because Bianca was getting booed in Minnesota too. They still making Io look like the underdog, and that's why I'm saying Io's gonna retain. Then she gonna lose it at Backlash to Bianca. Like, that streak, they'll probably mention it this upcoming Monday, but they don't really care about it for real. Bianca cares about it, but I don't think WWE really care about it. She's not gonna be the female Undertaker. She could have a similar record, but I don't think she's gonna go on some long undefeated streak. And Rhea needs to take the pin in this match. Whether it's Io or Bianca that wins, Rhea needs to take the pin. But this triple threat has been built really bad. Like, Rhea cried her way into the match to make it a triple threat. You lost fair and square. But and Rhea and Bianca, they're the 2 biggest women stars on Raw, so you could have did that straight up. The only reason why I'm not mad at Io being in it is because I knew they didn't have anything else for Io to do with Damage Control with them being broken basically since everybody's hurt. And then it's really no direction with Dakota Kai, even when she's there. So which I think she's fine now, but that's why I get it, because they didn't have anything better for them to do. That's why, like, Io being a transitional champion, like, she deserves a better reign than this. Like, I think she's losing at Backlash, like I said, to Bianca Belair. But if she loses at WrestleMania, as long as Bianca gets it, I'm fine. But this was the wrong time to put it on her. You could have made a storyline out of Rhea taking her out for WrestleMania. You could have had her winning back like 2 weeks later, like Rhea Ripley. You turn her back into the heel, she takes out Io, and that's why she's out at WrestleMania. Then you tell a story with her and Rhea to get to determine the next contender for Bianca Belair. Or you do Bianca Belair and Rhea at WrestleMania. You have Bianca win, then Io, once she comes back, she wants Rhea Ripley, and then you have them do a number 1 contenders match. You let Io Sky get the win, and then or you could do it for a few months since it's an injury. She took her out. You could do it for like 3 months. Then eventually Io Sky, she has a match with Bianca Belair. Then Bianca Belair retains because I think Naomi's probably winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on Bianca when she gets the championship. But I think that would have been better instead of throwing Io in this and making her the 3rd wheel as the champion. It's kind of stupid. You could have built that a lot better. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I'm fine with this, but I was for sure thinking this would be a multi-man match with Jimmy Uso, Carmelo Hayes, people of that nature. But even Carmelo Hayes not being on WrestleMania, like the stuff he's been doing, like I was saying, even Carmelo Hayes not being at WrestleMania is kind of egregious after the stuff he had him do. Like, he was doing some good stuff in the mid card with Andrade, so if he was going into a U.S. title match, it would have made sense. Like Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, I think would be a good match. I don't mind it. Like, I was thinking this would be a multi-person match, but it's not. It's fine. I think Jacob Fatu gonna get the win. If Solo makes him lose, that's kind of stupid because he can just waste. I mean, LA Knight will retain, so that's cool. But Jacob Fatu, he should be a singles champion, and obviously, I think he's gonna win the world championship someday. But keep him in the mid card for now because the world title seems kind of crowded. So I think this is a good place for Jacob Fatu to win. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte. This is egregious. I'm not talking about this. And I'll do my predictions video soon. But this is just me talking about how I think these matches could have been better. But Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic, Finn Balor. Should have just threw AJ Styles and Logan Paul in this match and made it a six-pack challenge. Because AJ Styles and Logan Paul having a one-on-one match is kind of random. Don't really make sense. Like, that's one of the non-title matches that doesn't make a lot of sense at all. And Logan Paul's promos, they're just becoming repetitive. And Logan Paul is actually good on the mic. He's great in ring. And I think he's a good mic worker. But recently, it's just been really repetitive, which I don't like. But that easily should have, you should have threw them other two in it. Like, oh, you can say, well, Logan Paul going at, well, that's an IC title. Logan Paul going after another mid-card title. Well, that could be his story of trying to win every championship in WWE. Because what social media stars did that. He already won the U.S. title, so got to the IC title now. I'm not saying he has to win it, but you could have did, or if he did, then you're going to get the heat for it. And then eventually he got to the tag titles. Then he got to the world title. Like, you can make his story, he winning every, he's the only social media star influencer to win every WWE championship. So you could have easily made that a six-pack challenge. When's the last time we seen a six-pack challenge? 2010? Somewhere around there? You could have easily did that. Like those AJ Styles and Logan Paul, them having a one-on-one match, it's gonna be a great match. But the story for it is kind of stupid. That's why it should have added them to the Fatal 4-Way with Braun, Penta, Dom, and Finn, made it a six-pack challenge. Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra, already talked about. New Day versus the War Raiders, a Raw match, the same way that Chelsea and Selena was a SmackDown match. This one ended with a DQ. The women's match ended with a countout. Boom, New Day gets a shot for the tag titles again at WrestleMania. Chelsea Green and Selena Vega have a 6-woman tag team match next week on SmackDown. No more needs to be said. But now to the non-title matches, which like I said, AJ Styles and Logan Paul doesn't make sense. Just add them to the Fatal 4-Way, make it a six-pack challenge. I think that would have made a lot more sense. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, it was going to be a good match, but I don't think that's really worth WrestleMania. Like, you could have had that at Saturday night's main event. You could have did Kevin and Sammy at Elimination Chamber. But Kevin Owens, this is his fault. Like, you have a neck injury, you should not be wrestling. He wrestled with a neck injury. So it sucks that he's gonna be out for a few years. Maybe longer. Hopefully he doesn't have to retire. But that is his fault. He is the reason why Randy Orton doesn't have a WrestleMania match. But yeah, maybe don't wrestle with a neck injury and we're not here. So Randy Orton, it'll probably be him and Nick Aldis because you got to get Randy Orton on the card. But then again, this match is kind of pointless. It's just so Randy Orton can get his 20th WrestleMania. This match won't really do nothing no matter who it's against. And hopefully it's Nick Aldis, because if it's against Aleister Black, you put yourself in a lose-lose situation. And both men can't afford to lose. So, Naomi versus Jade, I think it's been the best story. It's the first women's singles, non-title singles match since 2006 at WrestleMania. This match I'm cool with. The story has been good. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Sin City Street Fight. Long-term storytelling, this has been good. I don't have a problem with this. El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. Are we serious? And Chad Gable dressed up as a luchador versus Rey Mysterio. That's a Raw match. This shouldn't be at WrestleMania. Chad Gable had a great year last year, don't get me wrong, but they fumbled him last year. They trying to make up for it now. It's not going to work. Then Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman on a pole match. A gay love square. The main event of night one, CM Punk's favor 5 months ago is that Paul Heyman will stand in his corner at the main event of WrestleMania. He lost in the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, and he knows 5 months prior he's main eventing WrestleMania. If you believe those were favors the whole time, you're a liar. The favor should not be based around him standing in Theo Brooks' corner at WrestleMania. We do not care about that. The favor should have been whoever wins gets a world title shot at Backlash. That should have been the favor. The favor that he stands his corner is stupid. The story being based around a 59-year-old man. There's 3 guys fighting for the love of a 59-year-old man. That's what this story is. And this is at WrestleMania. Is it a WrestleMania match based off of star power? Yes. Based off of story? No. This story is terrible. But at the end of the day, every championship should be defended at WrestleMania. You have 14 matches. You have 11 championships. You can have 3 non-title matches, but the other ones, you should have all your championships being defended. Because doing it to SmackDown and Raw before, it's WrestleMania season. That's something you do for Backlash, for Survivor Series. This is your biggest wrestling event. This is the biggest wrestling event in North America of the year. And not every championship is defended. One of your women's mid-card champions not even defending her title. She's going after the tag team titles. So, a lot of stuff don't make sense right now. This build has not been good for WrestleMania 41. Now, 41 is not supposed to be bigger than 40, because I don't know why Triple H made up that lie last year saying 41 would be bigger and better than ever. 41 is not your 41st. Are you going all out for your 40th anniversary or your 41st anniversary? Everybody's saying their 40th anniversary. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what y'all think. Peace.